All right. I remember to record today. Yay. So this week we have been doing a little mini spirit week. We started off with Tiffany Piper, and then we had last night, we had Brielle, and then tonight I'm so excited to introduce a sweet dear friend of mine, Emily. And I just asked her to share all things host to post. She's killing it. She's like the queen of host to post. So I have my pen and paper out. I hope you have your pen and paper out too. And I'm just going to turn it straight over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gina. I am honored to be here. It's so fun to hop on other team Zooms and just be able to pour out what I have been learning and what's been working for me. So first of all, thank you. Thank you for having me. So I want to preface this Zoom and just say that things sometimes said with love can still hurt. And I want you to know that everything that is going to come out of my mouth tonight comes from a place of love, and it comes from a place of encouragement and hope for your future and your business to grow. So with that being said, I also want you to know that when we work in an industry with people, there are always going to be people who love and support you, people who think you're nuts, people who despise you for doing what you're doing, and you are not responsible for any of their responses. You are only responsible for the work that you are doing and the effort that you are putting forth for your business. I had like an epiphany a while back when I was reading my Bible, and I was reading in, I believe it was in Matthew. I'm like in the Gospels right now. And it was a story of Jesus healing a man, and the Sadducees and Pharisees were literally so irritated that he was doing a good work. And it made me think about how if the one person who was here on earth, who was absolutely perfect, who never did anything wrong, was despised for who he was, who am I to think that people aren't going to get mad at me every once in a while? Does that make sense? So I don't want you to be like, well, it's okay if people are mean to me. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that you're not unique in the aspect that people won't be offended from time to time when you ask them a question. So with all of that groundwork being laid, host to post has everything to do with your mindset. It has everything to do with what you believe you are doing in this industry. And that is how you are going to approach host to post. If you are fearful of what people are going to say, you are going to hesitate to send the message. If you are excited about what you're going to offer, that conversation is going to look a lot different. So with that, you have to have your mind right. You have to understand that in this industry, there are a lot of things that are very mechanical, and then there are a lot of things that are emotional. Host to post is a mechanical system. It is a tool. It's a tool to help you generate leads. It's not an emotional attachment. You are not going to tie your emotions to the outcome of the messages that you send out. You are simply going to get so incredibly excited about the task that you are doing, with the understanding that you are building your business by doing it. So host to post, what is it? It's our lead generating tool that allows you to grow your network and allows you to work your business without you being in front of your phone. Okay. When I do host to post, you also have to understand that it depends on what you're looking for. Okay. If you are looking to grow your network, your host to post is going to look different than if you're trying to bring in loyal customers or you're trying to bring in distributors. The system is the same, but the context of the message is going to look just a little bit different. When we do host to post, you can start your conversation a million and one different ways. You can go to people who are in your newsfeed, who are commenting and reacting on your stuff. You can greenlight message. If you're not familiar with what that is, reach out to your sponsor. You can go to people who are looking at your stories. You can search names, like very popular names like Ashley or Rebecca, and send them all host to post messages. this is what is working for me right now. And I want to encourage you to be bold and remember that this is a tool and use your tool. What I've been doing lately is I go directly to my friends list. Okay. I am not putting up a ton of posts on my newsfeed, however you can if you want to, but I'm not putting up a ton of posts about giveaways on my newsfeed. I think that we're just in an era right now where people are super skeptical about money being transferred via social media. So I have been very careful about not talking about a ton of money. So what I have been doing is I go to my friends list and I started at the top. At the very top of my friends list, I do not hesitate. I set a timer and I send out as many messages as I possibly can. Gina, I'm going to send the message to you that I have been sending out to people, and you can share it with your team. Okay. But the message is super simple. Depending on the time of day, I always start with good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay, so good afternoon. I have to ask a huge favor. Would you mind putting up a short little post on your wall for me to create brand awareness for my small health and wellness business? I would appreciate it so much. Can I send it over? Okay, I'm just asking you to do a small favor. If you're not interested, I don't really care. But if you are interested, I love you forever. Okay. And the reason why I don't care is because I don't know what's going on with that person's life. I don't know if they are busy and they just don't have the time. I don't know if they just got into a fight with their husband and the last thing they want to do is be generous. I don't know what's going on, but I can't let it deter me from building my business, which is why when I start at that top of my friends list, I don't respond to anybody until my timer goes off. All the messages get sent out. And when you do it in such a systematic way like that, you're not stopping and going and stopping and going. You're not putting one toe in the water and then taking it back out. You're just getting the job done. Okay. So Gina, I sent you that message so you can share it with whoever asks for it. Okay. Once they tell me yes, I take a peek at their profile and I look and I see, okay, are they sharing content all the time? Do their posts get a lot of interaction on them? Do they seem like they're a fun person? Are they older? Are they younger? Okay. I don't spend a ton of time on this, and I don't want you to overthink it either, because it's a waste of your time to overthink, right? And be worrying and anxious. It's a waste of your time. So I take a brief look at their profile page, just kind of get a feel for who they are. And then I send them either a product post or a distributor post. Right now I am in, the avenue where all I want in my network right now are people who are interested in my products or people who are interested in my business. Now, can you find people by doing giveaway host to post? Absolutely. You absolutely can. But for me personally, right now, I'm only doing product and business posts. So after somebody is so freaking generous and is willing to help me put a post up on their newsfeed, I first and foremost celebrate the victory, right? Like sometimes you feel like you're going to war when you're sending out messages because you hear no and people say you're crazy or whatever. So when I get somebody who generously puts up a post for me, I celebrate that victory. And I'm like, oh, thank you, God, so much for answering a prayer the way I wanted it to be answered. Now I have a post up. Now I have it working for me. Second, I thank that person. I want them to know that they didn't have to do what they just did for me, but they did it. And I'm so grateful for that. My thank you message, I will send to Gina. But it's super simple, you guys. It lets them know that I appreciate them. I thank them so much. I do have opportunities available if they're interested in a work from home position, or I have a couple of VIP spots that I'm looking to fill if they're interested in trying out products. So Gina, I will send this to you. There we go. Okay. If you notice in this thank you message, if they say yes to all of the products, it's our Bye Bye Love Handles package. So I did that intentionally so that if they were interested, then I could just send them a package information. Now you can change that to whatever you want. If you're currently posting on your newsfeed about hair, skin, and nails and collagen, then it would make a lot more sense for you to add that into your message versus like the Bye Bye Love Handles pack. So there's that. Now, systematically, when we talk host to post, once somebody has that post up on their news feed for you, you're simply going to save the post to a collection by clicking the 3 little dots on the top right-hand corner of the page. And then you're going to put it in a collection. You can call that collection whatever you want, get creative and have fun with it. After you have it saved in a collection, people are going to start commenting on that post. For me personally, I wait 24 hours before I respond. I don't go like it. I don't look at it. I don't do anything with it until the next day. I don't know that there's necessarily rhyme or reason or algorithm, whatever's to go along with it. But my goal for the day is just to get as many hosted posts up as I possibly can. Then I respond to them all the next day. Once we are on, or once I go back and I look at those messages, I personally send friend requests to every person who comments. The only time I don't send a friend request is if they say something snarky, they say something mean, or they're mocking me. I don't want those type of people in my network, so I just don't even acknowledge them. But I send them a friend request and then I respond to a comment directing them to message me. Okay, I don't have time to keep going back to that post and checking the comments and staying up to speed with it, especially if I'm working on getting more posts up every day. So my messages are always something along the lines of, I would love to help you on your journey to better health. Message me the word goals in quotations. Message me the word goals so we can chat. Okay, I tell them to come to me. People who are serious are going to message you. I follow the same philosophy for giveaway posts and the same philosophy for opportunity posts as well. It's message me a keyword, whatever keyword you want to use, so that when they come into my inbox, it says goals, opportunity, gift away, gift, cash. Like I know exactly what they're coming to me for, and I can talk to them about it. What I also do is I go back through the hosted posts from the day before, and anybody who I have commented on and I have sent a friend request to, if they have accepted my friend request, they're getting a message from me. Okay, they've commented on the post. They've said that they are interested. They've accepted my friend request. I take that sucker as a green light. I'm like, they want information. I am sending them information and I do it. And the reason why is because people get busy and they forget and they don't know, they can't remember why you sent them a friend request. They can't remember what post they commented on in the first place. So it's my responsibility to remind them how we got connected and what they were interested in. So that's what I do. That's what I do every single day. Anytime I get a pocket of time where I can send out more host to post messages, I do. And we also have to remember that when we talk about news feeds and we talk about algorithms and we talk about posting, generally speaking, your posts on your newsfeed only get pushed out to 100 people a day. Okay, that's it. Maybe 100 people will see your post. Okay. And that's if they're not just like scrolling through too. Okay. If you are doing host to post, you are now gaining access to everybody else's newsfeed. So imagine if you get 10 hosted posts up, you now have access to 1,000 people. 1,000 people looking at that post who could be interested in what you have to offer. And I know for me as a busy mom, if I can have my business being worked for me while I'm not on my phone, that's a blessing. And that is what host to post is all about. It's generating those tools in order for you to succeed so you don't have to be attached to your phone all the time. So that's it in a nutshell, Gina. I know that was probably pretty fast and straight to the point. Do you have any questions for me?
I have a couple of questions. Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, great information. I'm just curious because you know how I am. I'm just curious about stuff. How long do you set your timer? Is it the same amount of time every day or do you change it around?
So I have enough blue in me that I can't do the same thing every day. It drives me up the wall. I love having a good system to follow so I know what the expectation is.
Mhm.
But the number of hosted posts that it has to align with your goals. Okay. So some days for me, it's like, I only have 10 minutes to spare to send out messages before my kids get home. So that's all the time I have. And then there are days like today where my dad took Beckett and all my kids were in school and I spent an hour working on host to post stuff. So it literally, it just depends. And it depends on my schedule too, because, we have a girls trip coming up for my team. And so I know that there are going to be 2 or 3 days where I'm unplugged and I'm not on my phone. So I have to prepare myself to not be actively doing host to post for those few days. And I can't wait. I can't do it after the fact. That's not preparation. I have to prepare myself to succeed. So that means doing it before I go on that trip. So I am like doubling down on my workload right now. I hope that answers your question.
It did. Yes. Thank you for that. I was just curious about it. I also love the fact that you said to celebrate the victory. I think we forget to do that because we're always on to the step 2. We're always like moving to step 2. So, thanking the person. And then of course, my little ADHD self loved the fact that you said that you don't message them for 24 hours. I'm like, oh my gosh, what a huge, we've been hearing, get them, do this. And now you're killing it. And I'm like, oh, why am I killing myself thinking that I have to immediately message when they're still going to be there 24 hours later? And maybe it's more legit that way. So I love that part. I'm going to change my stuff up.
And at the end of the day, it's all about finding that system that's going to work best for you. If you're somebody who has a time block where you can sit down for 3 hours and you can do all the work, then good, like good for you. Go for it. Do all the work in that amount of time if that's what you want to do. For me, time blocking looks different. I have like 30 minutes in the morning to put stories and posts and that sort of thing up. And then I have like an hour and a half in the afternoon where I can send out messages and clean up my inbox. And then I have time after the kids go to bed where I can do all the other stuff that I needed to get done. So it's going to look different for everyone, but you have to ask yourself, what's my goal? Are the actions that I'm taking aligning with the goal that I want to achieve? I actually had a conversation that I want to share with you guys with a girl on our team the other day. And she told me, she said, my goal is to hit 100 host to posts by the end of the month. And I was like, that's a phenomenal goal. Like, what are you doing in order to achieve it? And she goes, well, my goal is to get 3 host to posts up a day. And I said, well, let's look at this mathematically. If you get 3 host to posts up a day, and there's 30 days in the month, that leaves you with 90 host to posts. There's no way for you to reach your goal if that's what you're doing on a daily basis. So you have to align, if your goal is 100 host to posts, you got to get at least 4 up a day. You know what I mean? And it didn't like click with her because she was like, and I was proud of her for getting 3 host to posts up a day. She's new, like that's a big deal. But I was like, it's not aligning. It's not aligning with your goal. So we really have to pay attention to that as well.
That's so good. Yeah, that's really good. So one question. If there were, 2 things. If there were 2 things that you, like, we're going to get off this Zoom, we're going to keep working a little bit. What are 2 things that you think that we can do right as soon as we get off?
Okay. So the first thing that I would do is I would say, get the work done first. Get it done first. Like send the messages out first. Then once your work is done, respond. Okay. And I have seen where, we actually did it wasn't like a contest. We were just like saying, hey, if I want you to set a timer for 10 minutes and I want you to send out as many host to post messages as you can in 10 minutes. Well, everybody came back with different numbers, right? For what that looks like for them. Some people came back and they were like, I got 15 messages sent out. I got blah, blah, blah sent out. And I came in and I was like, I got 45 messages sent out. And I blew everyone out of the water because I don't spend time searching people's profiles and making sure that they're this, that, or the other. I might glance at it because I'm getting a host to post up, and I want it to kind of align with what I think maybe their network would be interested in. But even at the end of the day, I don't think too much on it. I'm like, I'm going to get the post up. And if they were willing to post for me this month, they're probably going to post for me next month, and I'll give them a different post and we'll try things out. I just think that you have to be okay with trial and error in this business. You have to be okay with taking a risk, and you have to be okay with a host post tanking. Like, it's not the end of the world if nobody comments on it, because guess what you're going to do tomorrow? You're going to get more host posts up, right? So you're going to find a new network who is interested. And I've had people, and Gina, I'm sure you can relate to this, that, they put up an opportunity post and nobody commented on it. I had them put up a gummy post, nobody commented on it, but I give them a heart hap, and all of a sudden everyone and their sister is interested. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you have to be okay with taking the risk, allowing yourself to fail so that you can really figure out what's going to work best for you. And what better way to take a risk than have someone put up a post for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a big deal. And I know sometimes I say that, and I feel like sometimes I need to retract my words a little bit, because it seems like a big deal in the beginning. But the only way you get confident in doing host to post is when you take courageous action. So you have to be willing to do it. So that would be my things. Do the work, all of it. Do all the work first, get all the messages out. And then once you've gotten the messages out, get in response mode and get back to it.
So good. I love it. That's good. Well, I appreciate you being on here tonight. I'm going to pray for all of us, and then a few of us are going to stay on and work for the next 30 minutes, but I know you have things to do and babies to take care of. So thank you for being here. So let me pray for us, and then we'll be done with this little segment. All right. Dearly Father, Lord, I thank you so much for Emily and everything that she brings to this business, and just the willingness to come on here and share from her heart. And Lord, I pray right now that you continue to just pour out an abundance on her and her business. I pray that you protect her family, just watch over her and keep them well. And I know that there's just always a million things going on, but I just appreciate so much, Lord, that she just has such a great willingness to jump in here and help and share. And Lord, I pray for everyone that's on the Zoom, and even the ones that are listening to the recording, that you will let something click. God, we know that you are the one who gives us all the great ideas. And I just pray that something on this Zoom will just help them move forward in their business, and that you'll continue to bless us. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Well, thank you. And let me stop the recording. I always forget this part. If I can find it.